Well, Dash, this could be the return of Big Ben. It's like how John Bobbitt felt when he got his thing sewn back on.
Gross.
Welcome to the Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? It's we're playing the greatest radio show.
Welcome, fans, to our Week 8 Steelers preview. The Steelers are taking on the Cincinnati Bengals at home, the first of 3 games in a row for Pittsburgh at home. Kind of like the friendly confines of Heinz Field. I think getting this game at home for Big Ben's going to be big. Give him that extra week off. Not playing him against Kansas City could be big. This is a tough matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. The 6-0 Cincinnati Bengals coming into town, coming off of their bye, obviously. And they've never been 7-0 before.
Never, ever.
Never, ever. So if they come out and win this game, they definitely deserve it, because I'm sure Cincinnati fans believe that the Steelers are their biggest rivals.
I don't even know if I consider Cincinnati a rival. We're 56-34 against the Bengals all time, 30-15 against them at home all time. We won 27-17 last year. Doesn't it have to be hard to play or hard to win or competitive to be considered a rival?
Well, okay, so who's Cincinnati's rival then? Is
Cleveland.
it the Cleveland? I knew you were going to say the Cleveland Browns. Get out of here with that. I mean, right
Two
now,
garbage organizations.
Right now, man, this is a must-win game for the Steelers in terms of division, because if Cincinnati moves on to 7-0 and Pittsburgh goes to 4-4,
yeah, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, this division's pretty much over. Now, if you look, it's not over for the playoffs though. They can lose this game, definitely still make the playoffs. You got the Jets at 4-2 right now. You got the Houston Texans in second place in their division at 2-5, and then in the AFC West, the Oakland Raiders are 3-3.
BS. Pittsburgh could, even if they lost this game, they could still win 10 games, I think, this year. I think Big Ben could go through and run amok on all these dudes. But it's a shaky game. You don't want to lose something like this to the Bengals. You don't want them to be 7-0. It's like, it would be the same thing as, almost the same because, injuries or whatever, but how the Pirates with the Cardinals, they just got off to such a big lead. It didn't matter how good the Pirates played. They won 98 freaking games and still couldn't catch it just because the Cardinals played so well. If Cincinnati gets a 7-0, they'd really have to collapse for Pittsburgh to catch them for the division win.
I don't necessarily think this is going to be an easy game for Cincinnati, especially with Ben coming back, obviously. But, I mean, I look at their schedule, and really, they've only played one team that I consider a playoff contender. They beat the Raiders, they beat the Chargers, they beat the Ravens, they beat the Chiefs, and they beat the Bills. That's 5 teams I really don't see making it to the playoffs. But then they did beat the Seahawks 27-24, and if you remember,
I don't want to remember.
The Seahawks were up big in that game, and Cincinnati came back and won that. But that was a home game in Cincinnati, so I think this is really their toughest game on the road. They had the Raiders, the Ravens, and the Bills on the road so far. And I think this Steelers game is definitely their biggest competition on the road this season.
Yeah, the 6-0 record could definitely be a product of playing bad teams. You don't go against great competition and you're a good team, you win. Andy Dalton's won early in the season in his career before. The Bengals' offense is averaging 410 yards a game. They're averaging a little over 30 points a game. Pittsburgh's offense, with Big Ben being out the last few weeks, are not so well. 348 yards a game and only 22.6 points per game. But Pittsburgh isn't even giving up 19 points a game on defense. And the Bengals are a little over 20. But for the Steelers defense, who was a huge question mark coming into this season, to not even be giving up 20 points per game is a huge lift for the Steelers. And if that defense can continue to play even almost as well as it did while Ben was out, with Ben in the lineup, teams better watch out.
Yeah, they played pretty well so far. We all know they look like garbage in the New England game, but really this KC game this past week has really been the worst they looked outside of that New England game this season. And to me, it's because of all the injuries, obviously. To it, he missed that game. They're unsure about his status for this week. I heard Tomlin say he may be limited in the game. Willie Gay got hurt in the game. Tomlin says he may be limited this week, or he may not play at all. By the way, did you see he got fined for wearing purple cleats?
Believe it. You can wear pink ones for breast cancer awareness, just not purple ones for domestic abuse.
Please believe it. And Will Allen, he's been out for a while as well. He actually has a chance to return this week. He went down with an ankle injury in Week 5 against the Chargers. It'd be really nice to get him back, actually. So there's a lot of injuries going on here, and still a lot of questions for this week of who's going to play and who's not going to play. And they can't overcome all of these injuries and keep playing well, in my opinion. I mean, this secondary is getting real thin right now.
Very thin, like Big Easy's hair.
But they're saying if Willie Gay doesn't go, Brandon Boykin could actually get a shot this week.
Could it be a surprise, I guess I would call it, if he came out and played well? Would it be a surprise?
A little bit, I guess. I mean, we all had high hopes for him coming into the season. A lot of people were saying this is our best corner as soon as they signed him. But he's also been out for, 7 weeks now. So you got to give him a chance. If he doesn't come out and produce immediately, don't just say he's garbage.
Dude's garbage.
But yeah, it could be Boykin and Cockrell on the outside. That's tough.
If you'd have told me those would be our two starters before the season started, I'd have just said, who the hell are those guys? I mean, I know Boykin played well out in Philly, but it's not like I follow the Eagles a whole lot, and I don't think anybody outside of Buffalo knew who Cockrell was.
Well, what if I said Robert Golden and Mike Mitchell would be starting at safety?
I'd say Mike Mitchell is garbage. That would be before the season.
Obviously. But yeah, Will Allen would like to get him back. And I'd like to see Willie Gay play too. This is our best corner in my opinion. Willie Gay is still our best corner right now. And if he's out, this is going to be tough because Cincinnati, I know we like to hate on Andy Dalton around here, but
Fire crotch.
this season, he has taken it to another level. 1,761 yards, a 9.1 average, 14 touchdowns compared to just 2 interceptions. And what helps is his offensive line has been good for him this season. He's only been sacked 6 times so far this year. And he has a ton of weapons, obviously. In the run game, Jeremy Hill came into the season. Everybody thought this guy was a beast, and he's still a good running back. He only has 232 yards, but he did score 5 touchdowns. And then he has Giovanni Bernard as the other back out there, and he's actually on pace for a 1,000-yard season right now. He has 427 yards. He's averaging 5.5 yards per carry. He has 2 touchdowns, and he's used in the passing game as well. He has 18 catches for 119 yards. I actually thought he'd be used more in the passing game this season than he has, but he's definitely a threat in the passing game, and the Steelers are going to have to look out for that. But in the passing game, it's really been A.J. Green, Tyler Eifert, who we know the Steelers have trouble stopping tight ends. They keep showing it every week. And Tyler Eifert's one of the best in the league. And then Marvin Jones. Between them, they have 127 targets, 1,194 yards, and 12 touchdowns. Half of those touchdowns came from Tyler Eifert alone. So they've really got to keep an eye on him in this game.
You know, the stats that I keep seeing this week are the Bengals are 4-7-1 after a bye week with Marvin Lewis. And they're 2-2 under Andy Dalton in that time. They've lost to Denver and New England.
So tough games.
Yeah, both tough games. But still, I don't know. The bye week, to me, helps when you're banged up and everything. I know it gives you more time to prepare for a game, so it helps. But you get a lot of that bye week off. You know what I mean? You might be in meetings and stuff, but you're not actually out there practicing. You get an extra day or 2 off during that bye week. So total practice time and everything, I don't think it helps as much as other people think it does to just prepare for a team. It's the rest to get everybody healthy that makes it great. And the Bengals were healthy going into it, and they're healthy coming out of it. So I don't see the bye week as huge of an advantage for the Bengals as other people do. I see Pittsburgh having 3 straight games at home with Ben Roethlisberger at the helm. Remember last year when we had 3 straight games and Big Ben was at QB? 500 yards passing and 6 touchdowns. Beast.
Yeah, I don't know. When I look at the bye, you could say they were healthy going into the bye, healthy coming out of the bye, but it's still nice to have that extra week off. You still get healthier because no matter what, no matter if you're injured or not, you're still hurting from the football season. So you definitely always love the bye.
I just don't think it helps you prepare for the other team a lot more.
Not necessarily.
You know, I think
the
having
Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers know each other.
Having a full week, you know, say you play Sunday and Sunday, that you have enough time to prepare there. If you play Sunday to Thursday, the gap between Thursday and Sunday is more worrisome to me than giving a team an extra whole week. Because like I said, you're just resting and relaxing a little bit. And with Big Ben at quarterback, Pittsburgh is 7-4 at home against the Bengals. The Bengals have only won once at Heinz Field since 2010. And the Steelers are 6-2 against pathetic firecrotch Andy Dalton. Do you think Dalton can get back up there and maybe make it 6-3? I doubt it. Screw you,
You're
Fire
doubting if the Cincinnati Bengals can win this game?
Yep. I'm taking the Steelers all the way, baby.
I think
you don't even need to wait for the end of this episode.
I'm going to take the Steelers probably too, but there's definitely a chance the Bengals can win this
Down
game.
with Fire
No
Crotch.
matter what those stats say, man, this is a different Bengals team than we've seen in the past. Andy Dalton, like I said, he's taken it to another level. He got a ton of weapons out there, one of the best tight ends, one of the best wide receivers, a great complement wide receiver to A.J. Green and Marvin Jones. They even got Mohamed Sanu out there, who isn't the worst receiver in the world. They got that two-headed monster in the backfield. Their offensive line is playing great. Now, their defense has been somewhat of a letdown this season. They're 11th in points allowed with 20.3. They're 16th against the run with 109.2 yards per game. 21st against the pass with 261.5. And they're 9th in sacks with 17. And just like the Steelers, they have 9 takeaways this season. A lot of people thought this was going to be one of the top defenses in football this season. And they're not bad. They're not terrible by any means. But they aren't one of those elite defenses. But still, I mean, they're playing well enough to win football games here.
Obviously, they're 6-0.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's not going to be easy for Big Ben in the offense either, though. I mean, they got a lot of players out there. That secondary looks a lot better than Pittsburgh's secondary. Dre Kirkpatrick, Adam Jones, and Leon Hall are the corners. Reggie Nelson's one of my favorite safeties in football. I liked him when he was out there in Jacksonville. Too bad he ended up in Cincinnati because now I'm not really rooting for him. Geno Atkins, A.J. Hawk, Vincent Ray. They got a ton of players out there. They're sort of a letdown, though, because, like I said, I thought this defense was going to be much better. I didn't think Andy Dalton was going to be as good as he is this season. In fact, I mean, in fantasy, I don't even think we ranked him in the top 200, did we? He's actually the '1 fantasy quarterback right now.
Dude's beat. The weapons I see are Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant, Ben Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell, Heath Miller, D'Angelo Williams, DHB, your boy Dree Archer returning kicks. Block you, Marcus Wheaton. You're out of this offense.
Damn.
AB
you were so high on him comim into the season.
I know I did. I hope. Block him. He's garbage. AB got his 5
I'm not
for 50
as low
going
on
back
you are
last
now,
week.
though. You're all over the place.
Heath Miller, hey, my opinion changes with production, my friend.
I get it.
Heath Miller, first time he didn't catch a pass last week since 2008. Dude goes up and tells Antonio Brown to stop crying about his stats, and he didn't even catch a pass. That's a professional. That's why I'm high on Heath Miller.
Yeah, I think Heath's actually going to come out and have a good game. Big Ben seen
Fantasy sleeper?
Fantasy sleeper. Deep sleeper, actually. Remember?
Dude.
You took him as your deep sleeper.
Please believe.
But yeah, I think Big Ben seen the stats last week, seen Heath Miller didn't have that catch. And Cincinnati's defense isn't that great against tight ends this season, so I do think Heath Miller is going to have a solid game. But you know what I seen last week that I do not want to see moving forward? D'Angelo Williams as the short yardage back.
Yeah,
I still want to see Le'Veon Bell as the short yardage back. And let's not forget, D'Angelo Williams dropped what could have been a touchdown pass from Landry Jones in that game, too. I know people want to get D'Angelo Williams in the game, get him some reps. But when you got the best running back in football, I hate it because he let us down a couple times in that game.
Yeah, I keep saying that I'd like to see Williams get the ball more. And as we progress through the season, I'm thinking more like maybe on the third drive.
Give him a series.
Yeah,
just give him a series.
You don't have to say the third drive every time, but somewhere around the third drive, even if you just let him in the first play, or not play, but first couple plays, 1, 2, 3, third down, maybe get a first down, 1, 2, 3, but you just can't keep a talent like Le'Veon Bell off the field. You kidding me? Short yardage. It should be Bell every time. 2 weeks ago, whatever it was against the Chargers, they asked Mike Tomlin if he second guessed himself letting Le'Veon take it in the Wildcat for that run, and he said, "Are you kidding me? I got the best back in football, Le'Veon Bell." And then they come back and they give it to D'Angelo.
Use D'Angelo in the most important situations.
It just didn't make
no
sense. Tomlin, I think you're more all over the place than I am.
I wouldn't go that far.
I don't know. He's kind of got that weird. What was his degree in? Sociology. He's got too many cliches. At least I speak the truth.
I don't care how he talks. He talks like a moron.
He's all cliche.
He wins games.
Please believe I'm not hating on the dude. I like his hairline.
Yeah, I want to see Le'Veon Bell in this game because, like I said,
17 carries last week. Sorry, but that's just not enough.
Averaging over 7 yards a carry. Now that Big Ben's back, that should open it up a little bit more for Le'Veon as well. And like I said, the Cincinnati defense just 16th against the run. They allow over 100 yards per game. I think Le'Veon Bell can get it going in this game.
Would you want Ben, Bell, and Brown on your fantasy team at the same time?
Yeah, I have Keenan Allen, Danny Woodhead, and Antonio Gates. Why wouldn't I take 3 better players?
I got Roethlisberger and Le'Veon. Not in the same league, though. What are your keys to victory for this week? Feed it to Heath?
No, definitely not. I think the offense is going to be okay against this defense. I really think the problems are going to be with our defense this week because, like I said, Cincinnati, they're one of the better offenses in football this year. We got a lot of injuries going on the defense, a lot of questions of who's going to play, who's not going to play, and that Cincinnati offensive line has kept Andy Dalton upright all season, and that's a good reason why he's taken another step in his game is because he's not looking at the line. He's still looking downfield this late in the season, obviously. So I think this defense really got to get pressure on Andy Dalton to get him off his game, or he's just going to keep doing what he's been doing this season.
I like what you're saying, and I'm going to take it another half step further, I think. Mad pressure on Dalton, especially early. And I don't even care if it comes in the form of sacks. You got to get to him. Hit him, bump him, get in his face, you know what I mean? Make him early bad throws. I want an early turnover. The whole time when Big Ben's been out, we've been struggling through the first half and then making it work in the second half and putting it together, and we won 2 games. These are heart-wrenching games. I can't take this. My blood pressure is skyrocketing right now. It's getting pumped up just talking about this. So we need Big Ben and company to come out and play the way we know they can. We need this defense to get back to the way it was before last week. Create turnovers, big pressure on Dalton. Early pressure on Dalton is the key to beating him because you get in his head. Firecrotch can't think that well when he's getting hit. Maybe if we hit him in the face with a fire extinguisher. I bet you James Harrison would do it. He hates Andy Dalton. He hates the Bengals.
Doesn't mean he's going to hit him with a fire extinguisher.
I'm pretty sure James Harrison would hit anybody with a fire extinguisher if you gave him the right amount of money. He's a mean dude.
I think it would hurt worse if he just punched someone.
Punch him with the fire extinguisher on his hand.
But yeah, pressure is the key in this game to me because, yeah, you want the turnover, but like I said, he's only thrown 2 picks. They have not turned the ball over much at all this season, and the way you're going to do it is get pressure on him, get him off his game, get him looking at the defensive lineman when the ball is snapped, and you got to get him to the ground. Maybe the turnover can come on a forced fumble from Andy Dalton.
I'll take it. Rip his head off, make him drop the football.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's all you got to do. Beat him up. Pressure equals wins when it comes to Dalton. He is a girly man.
Are they going to get that pressure, though? That's the question. Because if they don't get that pressure, I'm telling you right now, this defense is not going to have a good game because Andy Dalton will tear this secondary apart, especially if Willie Gay's not playing.
If we get Stephon Tuitt back,
Will Allen could help.
Is he bigger than Willie Gay, his presence?
I mean, he's a better player, and he's
but I mean,
more valuable to the team.
Does he make a bigger effect on defense? Because I think with Tuitt back, you get a way better pass rush. And I do like Willie Gay probably better than our other corners, but I don't know. We're going to get shredded yards-wise, I think, either way. But the pressure will equal turnovers, which will keep the score down for Cincinnati, which is how they need to do it. But I don't know if I'd like Tuitt back or Gay back first. Take them both, I guess.
It just scares me a little bit because I look at this Cincy team, and they're the type of team that I think that could give the Steelers trouble.
But could this be their big letdown game? I've been saying it for like 3 or 4 weeks in a row now. They're going to have it. They're going to have it. They're going to have it. You know they want this game more than any of these other 6 victories that they've got this year. They want to rub it in our face at our stadium. Get that Big Ben's first game back.
Elusive 7-0.
Yeah, get to 7-0 for the first time. Pretty much almost wrap up the division.
Not almost, man. It's over because the Steelers will be in second place at 4-4, no matter what happens with the other games.
Right. So this is a big game for the Bengals. I could see them thinking too much, getting too confident, and just coming out and flopping.
I don't see a flop. I see a close game. I mean, right now, Vegas has it at a pick'em. It started with Cincinnati -1 or -1.5 or something. I looked today, it was a pick'em. And it's like that for a reason. This Cincinnati team is better than maybe that 80s team that made it to the Super Bowl. I don't even know how good that team was.
I don't know. I hated Chris Collinsworth, so I can't give them any credit. Sorry, 80s team. You're garbage. Boomer.
I don't think was he on that team that made it to the Super Bowl?
I don't know. Probably at the end of his career.
I know
maybe.
he had like 100 catches his rookie season, and then after that, he wasn't even that great of a player.
He's got a bird neck. Hey, last week my prediction of AB's punt return for a touchdown
Dead wrong.
came a little early. That's all. I jumped the gun a little bit. AB has had 3 punt return touchdowns in his career. All 3 have come at Heinz Field, and all 3 have come against the Cincinnati Bengals. So this is the week it's going to happen. Number 4, AB, big punt return. My official prediction, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers come out and they win this game 38-31.
38-31.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Man, that's a high scoring game.
Hey, man, Big Ben, points all day. All day, baby.
Well, he didn't put up those type of points against a mediocre New England defense. He did do it against a terrible San Francisco team, though.
Yeah.
But his first game back, you said it yourself, he's not always completely on top of his game in his first game back. I know you're saying since they gave him the extra rest, now he's going to come back and be on top of his game, especially since you traded for him in fantasy this past week.
Please believe again.
You asked me, should I play him this week? And I was like, yeah, I'd probably play him. You're like, I don't think I'm going to. And then I look at your lineup and he's already in.
Baby, he's in. Ready to go.
But I think it's going to be a tough game. I think actually the Steelers might start out a little slow in this game. Maybe try to feature the run game a little bit early just to get Big Ben in the groove. So I'll say they'll come out and fall behind in the first half and then make a run in the second half and end up winning this game 27-23.
Not enough points.
Not enough points.
Need more. 38-31.
Maybe it'll be 23-20 and Antonio Brown will return one for a touchdown.
I'll take it. AB all day, baby.
With like 2 seconds left, since he just has to punt with 2 seconds left to end the game, and AB takes it to the house.
Hopefully he stops crying now that Heath told him to.
Well, he's definitely going to stop crying. He got his 100 yards last week. He had his 6 catches. Big Ben's back. He doesn't even remember this Kansas City loss. He's ready to roll.
Brother. Do you know 47's official prediction?
Yeah, Pittsburgh's going to win.
What about easy?
Big Ben is a better quarterback than Andy Dalton, he would say.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he would say. Actually, it would take him about 15 minutes, but then he'd eventually get it out. I think Big Easy, I don't know. I think I heard him say the Bengals are going to win this game, but I know he wants the Steelers to win. But anytime he doesn't have any money on the game, that's when you know he's indecisive.
Well, listen, Big Ben, it's still not 100% he's coming back because he's saying something about he's not hopeful to play.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
it's not set in stone.
Yeah, so if he doesn't come out and play in this game, do you think the Steelers still win this game? Come on now.
No, I guess
Who's
not.
starting at quarterback?
Landry
Let's
Jones.
say Mike Vick is
Oh,
healthy.
God, no. They don't have a shot in hell if Michael Vick's the quarterback.
It's funny you say that because Mike Vick's only loss came against the Baltimore Ravens in a game that wasn't his fault and they should have won.
But he didn't win any of those games for Pittsburgh. I mean, he drove him down the field.
But he won. Landry
that Chargers
Jones
game.
lost.
But Landry Jones came in and won a game, too, so they did the
He
same thing.
did come in and win a game, but
They won it. They
in a
both
game
won a
he
game
started,
late, and
he
they
looked
both
terrible.
lost the game.
Those turnovers, man.
Vick looked terrible the whole time he was in.
He did not turn the ball over, and he was winning games.
He didn't complete passes over 5 yards, man. It's not hard to not throw a pick when you're throwing the ball 2 yards to your right.
It's all about the Steelers winning, though, man. I don't care how ugly it looks. If Landry Jones comes out and throws for 300 yards and 3 pick sixes, and Mike Vick runs for 40 yards and has -6 yards passing but wins, I mean, what do you want?
I don't think the Steelers are going to win if Mike Vick has -6 yards passing. I hope Mike Vick never touches the football as a Steeler again. Ever. I didn't want him to touch it in the first place.
I would definitely start him over Landry Jones.
I wouldn't start him over anybody. I'd rather have Geno Smith.
I'm sure. You said you'd take him over Colin Kaepernick a couple weeks ago.
Well, yeah, I guess I got to take that one back because I hate Colin Kaepernick more than anybody in the world, I think.
So who's going to come out as player of the game?
Big Ben, baby. Big points. Talking about it. Don't be laughing.
I'm going to say Martavis Bryant. He's going to come up with another touchdown, maybe even 2 touchdowns in this game.
He's going to have 500 yards receiving because Big Ben's back. It's going to be ridiculous.
Get out of here.
Accurate passes mean everything in this offense. Jones and Vick couldn't get it done. Is that all you got?
I guess.
Anything else?
Nope.
We can argue a little bit more if you really want to.
Weren't even arguing. I just love how you have to get that last word. Nope.
Nope. Dudes beat. Fans, if you want to try to get the last word, hit us up on Twitter at bet_the_spread. Hit me up on Twitter at betjimthewin. Check out the Facebook page, facebook.com/betthespread. Keep coming back to YouTube and clicking subscribe. We lost a subscriber. That's freaking blasphemy.